What's up, Cloud Gamers? Welcome to another episode of CGX Cast. This is episode 34. It's insane. The numbers keep growing, but this is good stuff, man. It's always fun just coming down here and chatting with you guys about cloud gaming related news. So much to talk about. And again, we're going to talk about Stadia, man. Some really, really good positive stuff happening for Stadia this week. Geforce Now, a lot of sales. Right, we'll talk more about that with 12 games coming to the Geforce Now platform this week. Insane. We got some xCloud news with Yakuza 6 releasing, and also an event that took place that brought us 20 games to Game Pass, with 16 of them coming to xCloud, which is absolutely insane. Amazon Luna have some pretty good stuff happening with 2 game releasing this week and an opening of a brand new studio in Montreal. So we'll talk about that too. No new news in Shadow, but hopefully we'll get something soon because, again, the time is running out. But let's get into it. We have a guest today, someone that we've been wanting to have on here. Ray, how are you doing, sir?
Man, first of all, it's an honor to be amongst this awesome panel. And I've always wanted to be on the show. I've always supported the show, and I'm just great to be here, especially with all this cloud gaming news we got this week.
It's insane. Yes, good to have you, man. Always good to have you. So thank you. All right, let's kick it off. As you can see, this is going to be the panel for today. We're missing some people. We're missing Mark. We're missing Jerry. So, and Chief is taking care of the kiddos too, but we still have a good amount of people here. But let's get into this, man. Give the panel a chance to just introduce themselves and let us know what they've been playing, also what platform they've been using to play these games. So to get started, Ben, how are you, sir? What have you been playing, and what platform have you been using to play this game on?
Oh, I got to think back on the week. There's been so much news, and I've been jumping around back and forth between everything. So, definitely been on Xbox a lot and xCloud, testing out the stuff that's been coming out, and a little bit of Geforce Now, but not a lot of Stadia. But I decided I'm going to buy FIFA 21, even though I had decided against it. So I'm going to pull the trigger on that later this evening.
Yeah. That's cool. So what made you change your mind with FIFA and Stadia?
One of the servers I'm in is doing like a community night, and I suggested that maybe FIFA would be a good game for that, and so everybody agreed. So now I got to buy it because I suggested it.
That's cool. I think Stadia is probably the only cloud service to have FIFA 21, right? I would say. So good stuff.
I think you can play on Boosteroid as well, Ace.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
true. Boosteroid is an interesting platform to me. So yeah, you're right on that though. But let's check in with you, Duncan. How have you been? What have you been playing? Also, what platform?
I have been playing on a wide range of devices this week. So, as per usual, I played some F1 on Stadia this week. I'm practicing for the Grand Prix, which is coming up, which I think Hellmonkey might be taking part in, or is he thinking about it, or has he forgot about it? Oh, he's forgot about it. He's just an absolute rocket. And I've been playing some Xbox as well. I think I might break 7,000 points for the month, which I think is pretty good going. So I'm happy with that. I've been definitely playing a lot of Xbox, and I just love Mikishi. Mikishi is just a game changer. Beautiful. And I've also been playing some random of my stupid games, which holds hits on Geforce Now, my simulation games on Geforce Now. So I've been playing some of them. So I've had a nice variation of games throughout the week.
Good to hear you playing a lot of games with different platforms of service. Awesome. How about you, Holtz? What have you been up to, sir? What have you been playing? What platform?
So I've been playing Xbox. So I've been diving into Yakuza 0 because I want to sort of progress through all the Yakuzas, because 6 now just came out on Xbox. So I've just been beating all the weird people up in Kamurocho which is roughly the Shinjuku Tokyo way of like da 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 da, acting all cool, but still get my ass kicked at times. But I've been really enjoying it.
It's cool.
I've
Are
put
you
about-
excited? Go ahead.
I've put about 30 hours in, so of course add another 50 for 1 to 5, and then I will actually play 6 gradually.
So you're gonna wait patiently. You're
Well,
gonna play from 0 to
Well, zero's
6.
you can either play 0 or 1 first, depending on how the story
Yeah.
narrative goes, and then depending on the character he comes back in 6 and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you can skip through some of the Yakuza, but because I want to find a linear story, I'm starting from 0 and going my way up.
Wow. Kudos to you, man. Again, I'm the type of guy when a new game comes out, it's harder for me to go back and play the older ones. But yeah, that's awesome. I tried 6. I did the video on it, and it's really impressive storyline and visually. So
I'm just there for the bizarre, chaotic fun. That's what I'm there for.
That's awesome. How about you, Hell Monkey? What have you been up to, and what have you been playing? What platform?
Yeah, playing some FIFA on Stadia. Contrary to opinion, I haven't had any issues getting any games at the times I've been playing, luckily. The numbers aren't great to look at when you see them at players that's online, but as I say, no, I haven't had any problems getting games. I haven't played FIFA for a couple of years, so it's been fun getting back into it. I'm a big football fan, but FIFA was always... I used to play on Xbox, and it just became so boring and repetitive,
You're not a football fan. You support Celtic.
So having been off the game for a couple of years and jumping back in, yeah, it's been good. It's been good. Also been playing space-based Startopia on Geforce Now. That new game, it's just came out. And
How are you liking it?
Well, I do like a simulation game, but I'm finding this difficult to get into. I'm finding it difficult to learn everything. The tutorials aren't great. Whereas in most simulators, the game, when you begin, it takes you through a whole host of situations and, explains a lot of things in detail. So if I forget something, that's on me. But some of the stuff in this game, it just doesn't tell you, like how to do it or,
Yeah.
So that sort of thing. So I'm hoping that it's going to improve, and I'll keep playing it to see if it does.
Okay. Man, simulators, man. Oh, Geforce Now is just calling your name, bro. Like, it's
It's
platform
totally
for
not.
you, sir.
I was watching Hell Monkey doing his stream the other day, and he was stuck in like the dealership of Euro Truck Simulator for a bit, and I'm like, that would be me for hours upon hours, and I was just listening to the tunes, going, yeah, this is simulating life. Just I couldn't do it.
I saw Hell Monkey go live at like, I don't know, midnight my time.
Yeah.
11 o'clock. I don't remember what it was. I hopped on for like 1 second, realized it was Euro Truck. Like, nope, I'm not gonna have a truck. I just jumped right back off.
It's hilarious.
Hellmonk, got a question, and this isn't me trolling. I'm putting this out here. What's the numbers you're seeing in FIFA?
Well, the highest I've seen was 164. So it was, but that was last night. So that's a Friday night. Yeah, so it doesn't look great, but as I say, I don't have any problems getting games.
Yeah. I mean,
And that's what matters, really, isn't it?
what are your thoughts on the numbers, Duncan? See you shaking your head.
I was nodding. It's actually surprised me that they're actually that high, which I'm taking as a bit of a positive. I thought they would have been into double digits, but it is Friday night, so I think. But it is a good sign that they are in triple figures. Anyway, I thought they would have been well under. I think the test for FIFA's numbers is going to be next week.
Sorry. I gotta.
Here we go again.
He's not saying anything negative. This is actually a positive.
Yes, I thought we were going to be in the double figures and no double figures from some of the stuff I've been hearing, but I'm actually surprised it's actually that high, and I think that's a relative positively good thing there. So it is a positive.
It's a compliment.
Yeah, they were in the double figures, Duncan, but that was like, see, during the week, during the daytime and the early afternoon for me, seen around about 40, 50 players online. But again, I didn't have any problems getting any games, midweek, while most people are working, etc. So, yeah.
There you go. Good stuff.
And the game's brilliant, by the way. You wouldn't think you were playing it on cloud.
Yeah.
So responsive and just it's a really, really good port.
Yeah, it is a great port, and we'll get into Stadia again. I feel like good stuff to talk about. So y'all chill. We're pro Stadia, at least for this podcast. But let's get to our guest today. Ray, how are you, sir? Again, just
Thank
let
you.
us know what you've been playing and also what platform you've been using to play it.
Not a problem. Well, of course, you guys know me. I play a lot of Stadia, so
Sure.
I love color TV. Last night, I think I was up like past midnight playing Red Dead Redemption online. Been playing that with FIFA. Been playing also Marvel Avengers. They've done some upgrades, I was told, so I got and played some of that, and it looks really
Looks like
nice.
it's on your screen right now behind you.
So
And
is it the graphics that they upgraded, or performance? What
brother,
was the main-
it's all the above. It's
Really?
when I first played it, I was and I stopped, didn't play it, and then I heard rumors that they did some work on it, so I've been playing it and I'm hooked. Also, Amazon. I played Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yeah.
I've never played it. I am completely hooked on that game.
Yeah.
I'm a history buff. I love history and Renaissance, so I love that game. And then, of course, I've been playing on Geforce Now. I've been playing a lot of Phasmophobia, running through, getting chased by ghosts. So love it.
That is interesting. Haven't even heard of that one.
It was free. It was free around Halloween on Epic Games.
That's crazy.
Man, so check it out. So you have your microphone, and the ghost is Fred, and the ghosts don't like to be bothered. So you can put down a note, and they can write down a message, and they'll tell you to get the hell out. There's even I heard that they have it's also in VR, so they have a vest where you can feel the ghost touch you.
Dang.
So
nuts.
so they have you could be on a prison, you could be in a barn, you could be in a suburban home. But
Crazy.
and it's the cooler thing about it is it's not just one type of ghost, it's different types of ghosts. So you got to figure out what type of ghosts, why are they mad, and then you have all these tools and instruments to use to go ghost hunting. So I'm kind of hooked on that.
That's nuts. Someone is saying, why not Casper? That's crazy. I didn't even know that was in Geforce Now, but that would be a good game to stream, right? Have you streamed it, right?
I sure have. I actually shout out to Codex Chronicles. He's been streaming a lot. I watched him early this morning streaming it, and it's guys, you should check it out. It's
cool.
really good.
That's
It's really
cool.
good.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. We'll have to take a look at that now. Again, had no idea that was in Geforce Now. Cool. So again, Ray, good to have you on
Thank
here
you.
for sure.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
excited to get your intake and the rest of the cloud gaming discussion. So me myself personally, I've been playing Stadia, y'all, and I realized I had a lot of games that I still haven't completed on that platform. Most of them are Ubisoft titles, so you guys might say, hey, you can play that anywhere else. But I went back to Stadia, man. I was like, realistically speaking, after the news of the 4 Japanese RPG games coming, after news of Resident Evil Village, after news of I know Judgment's coming next month, right? So it's like, all right, I'm gonna make Stadia my single player platform. This is the platform I'm used to play most of my single player games because it seems like they're getting most of the single player games that I'm looking for. So I went back, started playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla again. Dope game. A lot of people don't give that game credit. The game is dope. Immortals Phoenix Rising is another good one too, so went back to playing that as well. Went back to Red Dead Redemption. Again, all this story focused games, right? So been playing a lot of Stadia lately, and of course 2K and Rogue is games that I always switch in and out with online. But that's been my go-to for this week with cloud gaming. but we got so much to talk about. So just want to move into the discussion topic. We're going to start off with Amazon Luna first. Talk about the two games that was released for Luna this week. Just get y'all's take on these games, and then we'll talk about the new studios that was opening in Montreal, right? So the two games that was released was Starlink Battle of Atlas, and then we had The Observer System Redux. And then also Watch Dogs Legions, the Ultimate Edition. This came out this week as well. I don't know why. I thought we've already had Watch Dogs Legions. I don't know if this is somewhat connected to the online version of the game. I see.
I think it's just the
nodding.
ultimate edition that they bumped it up to have the extra features and stuff.
Right.
Okay. But so this game was on Luna. They just give us the ultimate, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Cool. All right. So those three games came to the platform. Let's talk about those games. Any of you guys try any of these games out? You guys excited about it? I know some people still don't have access to Luna, but for the people who've tried it, just get on here and let us know how your experience has been. And do you think these are good? By the way, to say this is the third or fourth consistent week now with game releases on Luna. So let's keep track with that. You know, the joke of one game a month is old now, right? So again, what are your thoughts on these games? Have you guys played these games? Anyone can hop on, or we can just start with.
I mean, I have Luna. I've had it for almost a month and a half now. I still can't play it on hardly any of my devices, so I don't really have much. I mean, my S21 doesn't work with it.
Yeah.
My Chromebook doesn't work with it. I have to get on my old MacBook, my 2014 MacBook, to play it. That's the only device I can use for it right now.
So it should support your phone, though. They said last week, right?
They said last week.
S21.
I've tried it a couple of times. I just downloaded the beta for Chrome to see if maybe that works. I'm testing it right now as we speak.
Interesting.
And still not working.
Wow. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. Yeah, that's an issue, right? The accessibility of Luna just to places where you can play that.
I don't want to cancel it and have to wait another 4 to 5 months to be able to get access to it again.
Yeah, don't do that.
I can't really play it on any devices except for my old MacBook.
Interesting.
Can I get in?
Go ahead, Ray.
I have no issues playing Amazon Luna. I actually play it on my desktop. But I haven't. The two new games that came out, I saw them. The one that's got my interest is The Observer. I love cyberpunk, kind of like sci-fi games. Yeah. So that's the one. I'll probably, you know what, when I get done with the being on this panel, I might just give it a try. But I'll test it out.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. I again had no idea what the game was about until it released in Luna. And again, that's the beautiful thing with these releases, right? You have no idea, no clue, or you forget about it. Like Starlink too. And then it releases and it's like, hey, I'm paying for it. Why not just try it out? Kind of deal. But yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, it's again, I just like the created sort of they're going for with Luna. The games they're picking here are interesting games. Kingdom Come Deliverance is sorry, not Kingdom Come. The Observer here is again it's another game out there which feels like it's being picked for because of what it is rather than just going randomly into picking out games. And it's I just like I think there's just thought going into this, and I know some people have actually put out some videos in regards to the games which have came here, and they are quite impressed with the port or port, if you want to call it the port, of Starlink, and I think it's running absolutely smashing on Luna with 60 FPS and all that sort of carry on. Okay. So again, I just like the thought going into the games, and it's not just everything going on there, and it's just a creative approach.
Yeah, this game was underlooked. If you guys haven't played this game, think of like Star Fox, right? It's a really good game. It didn't sell. They tried to do the whole toy config thing, and I think that's what kind of killed this game. But story-wise, gameplay-wise, man, this game is pretty cool. And again, if you have Luna Plus, you can just check it out for sure. So yeah, guys, give this one a go. Anyone else want to add to these these 3 games coming to Luna? Okay, so I'm curious to get y'all's take on the new studios that's being formed by Amazon in Montreal. Is this a shock to you guys? Are you guys excited for the news, or what? Just where do you guys stand with this? Right? How many studios now? I'm not too sure, but maybe some of you guys in the panel might know. But how many studios now do they have under their portfolio? You're saying 2, Duncan. Okay, so this is the second official studio, right?
Well,
Right. What are your thoughts?
well, I mean, the new CEO did say that, he promised games.
Right.
And so looks like they're keeping on that promise by getting some games, because Stadia is not going to make the games. I guess, hey, Amazon's going to make the games. So we'll see. And I think Montreal is an area that has probably some of the best, games that's ever, like Ubisoft. Some of my favorite game publishers have came out of Montreal. So hopefully, they're going out there to get some talented people to create some games, because they definitely need some help on getting some games out.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The thing that excites me the most is actually one of the executives that worked on Rainbow Six Siege is heading up this studio.
Yeah.
So, and they have said that they are going, they want to make a first-person shooter. So it seems like they are going to be focusing on the multiplayer aspect for this game.
Yeah.
And I think when is it New World? It's been delayed. I think when that comes out, that's going to give us a good idea of the standard of games that Amazon are going to look to put out, and it will give us a vision for any future games that these studios can put out.
Right. I think it's interesting that they have a multiplayer focused approach, right? You look at most of the games that has come from these studios, Crucible, yeah, the MMORPG that's coming, and then this game that they're trying to work on, first person, shooters. I wonder why that is, right? I wonder why they're not focusing on, like the next God of War, Zelda, like single player driven.
I think multiplayer games are the ones that captivate the most audience, isn't they? You look at some of the best games over the years, the big open world RPGs or the mass multiplayer shooters, ain't they?
I'm going to bring this a different way. It is what Microsoft are doing. It's what Stadia was going to be doing. It is what Luna's doing. Subscription model. And these games are gas games. They're going to be there for a long time. They're going to ever evolve, and they're just going to have you hooked in from the word go. And that's why Amazon is doing a big focus onto the RPGs, because remember, not only have they got New World coming, they've got the Lord of the Rings RPG coming as well. With Amazon opening up the studio, there's a couple of interesting things in it as well. They are mentioning about their third party, they're buying games as well. They have reiterated the Smilegate deal that they have, and they've got other deals up their sleeve as well. This is extremely interesting. It looks like they're going for a two-pronged attack here, where they're building up their studios, and they are also going to be buying games and become a big publisher. Right. This is something to keep a big eye on. This is Amazon is slowly approach, but I'm expecting some big moves, and I think we're going to get a shocker from Amazon who they get. I am feeling they're going to buy a big. If they don't buy it, they're going to team up with a couple of big developers to publish their games. Something maybe on the lines of what Epic is doing with Remedy and things like that. I think we're going to see some real big moves coming along.
Yeah. So for Jay saying Luna really seems to be taking a no AAA approach, what are your thoughts? again, I think Luna is a new platform, right? I think in time, especially like with channels coming, and if you want to go AAA route, right, you have what they're doing with Ubisoft Plus, right? They do have some AAA titles, but I think once channel becomes established, right, we'll see EA channels, possibly Square Enix,
Well,
Capcom, and then those Resident Evils, Final Fantasies.
I,
Same
I,
deal
wa-
release would be there. Go ahead.
I wanted to say that to me, Montreal screams quality. Every time I think of Montreal, it screams big,
Yeah.
huge games. So what I was worried about when they said first-person shooter, are they going to try and challenge a game in 5 years that could sort of challenge Call of Duty, Battlefield, or are they going to make a battle royale game like a Fortnite-esque game with like sort of low quality, but it excites the masses?
It's
So I
going to
want
be
to.
interesting to see what they come up with. But I do have to say, I know they got some veterans from the Rainbow Six team, but based on the history, man, I don't know, man. Like, just realistically speaking, not trying to talk down, about Luna and their game development process and cycle, but I just hope what they put out is quality and will get people excited, because the games lately that we've seen from them, I mean, New World getting delayed as much as it has, it's also a concern to me. So I don't know. I hope they figure it out. But I think this is good, like Duncan was saying. It offers, you know, not knocking on anyone, but you have a two approach now to where you can create games for your platform, but also you can shell out cash to get AAA titles, right? So you got to give them some credit for at least still staying in and trying to create exclusive content for Luna.
Yeah, I ain't gonna. Yes, I've just been called a Luna fanboy. You haven't heard me. I have called out Luna on a load of things as well. So it is equal ups with me. One thing I want to, or two things I want to say. For me, this is the biggest news of the week in the cloud gaming space, that Amazon have opened up their second studio. I know some people are going to disagree, thinking Stadia's had the best week, but for me, it goes into my second point here. The reason why I think this is the biggest news of the week. If you hear one platform is closing down their first party studio, and you hear a second one which is opening up their second party, or their second studio up, it just screams they've got confidence and they're going to be continuing to invest in gaming going forward. I think it's a really good optics thing, and it just screams confidence, and it gives you hope that they're going to be around for a long time, because they are going to be continuing to invest. It's a contrast sort of approach, and I think it just breeds that Stadia, or Amazon is going to stay around, while Stadia, you don't know, because of this Stadia Games and Entertainment. It's just the contrast of the two different companies going forward.
Fair enough. Kudos. Anyone else want to add to this? I see you.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that if going forward the next 5 years, people want the games that Amazon actually going to portray, because like we just mentioned before, buying them AAA exclusives, buying other companies to come in. At the moment, I think it's just a waiting game to see what they can actually deliver. So I think
for me, it was more just confidence. You know that they're continuing to invest.
Of course, that's great for like an investor's point and a future point. But I'm sure the games over the next 5 years, they'll be saying we want this, and they'll be like, oh, well, we're developing this on our own way. But I'm sure a lot of gamers will give a lot of push towards them going forward.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ray. I see you.
I think some of the problems though is back in the day, we could wait. Nowadays, people just can't wait, man. They want it now. Yeah. They want it now. And so you guys got to understand that you got to have a studio, you got to hire, you got to get management, you got to have money and resources, and you got to put out the games that people want. And then when they do have the games, you're going to get frustrated because they got to push the game back. So I've been wanting, I want to play New World, and it keeps getting pushed back. Yeah. So, a lot of people are going to get frustrated. But I will agree with Duncan that is, well, I can't be saying that. I believe I'm saying that, but
but you can't agree with Duncan. It's not wrong with that.
But I have to agree that does show confidence that they got a studio.
Yeah.
They got an extra studio.
So let me go ahead.
I just add in this other last part. Again, they aren't just building up studios. Part of the quote is they are also a publisher of externally developed titles, including an upcoming title developed by Smilegate RPG. So they're going to be buying these games in and as a publisher and building the first party. They're just doing it two different ways. That's just in their statement. Sorry. I'll shut up now so everybody else can talk.
You good. So what do you think is a better approach, just realistically speaking? Like Holtz was saying, and kind of like Ray said, right? Ray saying people don't have the time to wait. They want instant gratification. Holtz is saying this takes some time to create, a good game from a first-party studio. Do you think the easy approach is to just shell out money to buy? I think I was watching, what was I watching? A podcast. I forgot who was from, but they were saying, why don't these companies just shell out the money and buy existing who was that? I can't remember, but they were saying like Sega, if you look at the market cap, it's at 3 billion, right? Why don't Amazon just be like, all right, we'll give you 5 billion, we'll buy you out? I know, again, Japan has a process of acquiring, a company, and you have to worry about laws and regulations. But wouldn't that just be like the easy approach to say, we'll acquire Capcom, we'll acquire Sega, instead of trying to build a brand new studio with the possibility you guys might not even create a decent game. But then you have all these studios that have proven themselves that you can just purchase, right? What's y'all take on that?
Can I get in?
Yeah, go ahead.
But just because you shell out money to get a game doesn't mean it's going to be a good port. And there's been games that I've seen that's been on certain platforms that are great, and then there's games that I've seen on other platforms that's just horrible.
Yeah.
So it's a gamble, because it's money, and I mean, you gotta really, I don't know. It's a tough business. I would hate to be, a game CEO and you got all this money at your hands, but what if it's a bomb? And I've seen a lot of studios drop. I mean, 2020 was a lot of bombs, people. A lot of bombs.
True.
Well, I'm the type of game that believes that you should be buying these established franchises or studios now going forward, because I look at games that I really enjoyed that were first-party exclusives, and they've only sold between 1 to 4 million, right? And sometimes I go, oof, they fell short of the expected 10 million that they wanted on platforms that have got over 100 million user base people. And I'm like, oh, that's harsh. So sometimes, even though I believe they're great games, as an industry as a whole and as gamers, it's not successful compared to these likes of these other studios that are making annual ports or something like that. So I think you should spend your money getting these companies that bring the big titles of God knows how many millions of people.
Right.
The thing about exclusives is there is always an exclusive for somebody. You look at PlayStation. PlayStation are absolutely ripping it up. Spider-Man's 20 million games sold.
But it's like Ratchet and Clank, isn't it? 3 generations only making 20 million, and you're like,
yeah.
But that's the point I'm making as well. These exclusives have an audience, and they will bring people to the platform. And the more you have, and the different genres, it just pulls people in there. If we go back to that PlayStation event last year, where they were basically there trying to sell you a PlayStation 5, their exclusives hit loads of different marks. You had the family games in Ratchet and Clank, you had the sports game the racing game in Gran Turismo, you have God of War, you had your Spider-Man, Miles Morales as well. They were hitting all the different marks, and there was a game there for everybody. And they were exclusive games, and that is what's going to drive people to these platforms. Yes, some of these exclusive games don't sell gangbusters, but they sell enough for them to actually draw people to the platform. And that's where we're going to be going in the future. We're going to be looking at all these different cloud services, and I'll be subscribing to millions of them. I'm going to be subscribing to all of them, but not everybody will be able to do that. Yeah. You're going to be picking your games up, and you're going to be going which games are what. And if all the games are just the same, you're going to be looking what exclusives are there, and they're going to be the telling part of it.
All right, so let me. So we're spending a lot of time on Luna. It's crazy. I didn't think we
I
would,
know.
but it's good conversation. So let's keep it going for a little bit, right? So it sounds like from what I'm hearing you say, Duncan, exclusive is going to be key moving forward, right? So where do these companies then stand, right? Because again, Amazon is here trying to build build their own studio. We don't know if they're gonna make any acquisitions. In Stadia, we know they are not delivering exclusives anymore, and they're gonna try to pretty much get the AAA games on their service. So then you have Sony, you have Nintendo, and you have Microsoft again with the purchase of Bethesda. Um, could Luna and Google compete then, right? Because again, the exclusives are just way ahead of the game, right? How do Luna and how do Google compete with Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony now? If exclusive is key moving forward.
Exclusives has been a key moving forward in a lot of entertainment industry for a couple of years now. At least Amazon should know this better than any of their video game competitors. I mean, you look at Disney Plus, HBO Max, everything. Everybody's got exclusives. They're all putting things on their own platforms. Amazon should have learned this lesson by now, and it shows that they're learning it better than Google at least a little bit. But yeah,
so do you guys think they can compete then, realistically speaking?
It depends how much they're going to put their money into the pocket. That's what it comes down to. You mentioned Sega earlier about one of the places they could actually, or one of these companies could buy. Sega's getting bought up this year. I think it's an absolute. It's an absolute cert. For people who don't know, Sega is actually a massive company, and they're in two different pots. What's happening later this year? They're actually spinning off their gaming division into another one that has just got takeover wrote all over that, and my money's on Microsoft for that because of the PC games and the older games. I think that's just got Microsoft wrote all over that. But I am expecting Amazon to make a splash, and I think they're hinting at it with this latest blog post where they're going to be going out and buying certain games to put on to Amazon. If not the big publishers, I think they're going to get a number of big gets onto Luna, and I don't think it's going to be this year. I think it's going to be the years to come. I think they're going to, we make fun of it all the time on here. They're going to make use of the beta tag for as long as they can. And when that beta tag comes off, I think we're going to see what they have really been cooking. And I think we're going to get a couple of notable exclusives, even if they're timed.
Yeah. So I'm reading here, which is quite interesting. Jay was saying exclusive aren't everything, and then there's okay. So Luna channels are gonna be big. Jumper, my concern with this is if there's no one else, right, to support channels, if Microsoft is in here buying them up, then for instance, if Microsoft has a Bethesda channel, would have been really good for Amazon Luna to have, but no. They can't get that, right? I think EA and Activision are always going to remain third party, and those are going to be channels. But if Sega gets bought, if Capcom gets bought, those channels are not going to potentially exist on Luna. So that's my concern moving forward. If these companies are getting bought, like exclusive, then even plays a big role because your beloved franchise will not exist elsewhere but whoever who bought it. So but yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy all that's going on.
Yeah, we think that is the exact point. We know some of the best ports on Stadia have been id Software games. I think that's without question. You won't be playing them on Stadia anymore. You're not going to be playing any Bethesda games, bar Elder Scrolls Online, any of the new games. You're going to have to go to Microsoft to get them, and that's the same for PlayStation folks and everybody else. That is the power of exclusives. If you want to get into these, you're going to have to go to where the games are. The cloud makes it easier, but exclusives are still going to matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, but only when they've bought the studios. Like, for example, a lot of people weren't going to Xbox for the likes of Gears of War and Halo. A lot of people are going, oh, Gears of War, Halo, Forza, not going into the platform. But then since they've been acquisition, these companies, people are like, oh, I want to go that now because they've bought Bethesda. Oh, are they looking at Sega? Oof, I have to go there now.
Yeah.
Don't forget their partnership with EA too. I mean, they have so much EA content on Microsoft as well.
Right.
Yeah.
It's only that when you spent the money to get these.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Content is king, and that's what it's going to. That is what is going to sell the cloud platforms.
So let's look at Bungie too. Again, it's so interesting. Well, Microsoft is they mean bullies, man. Just throw that out there. Like look at Bungie, look at Destiny, look at how Bungie supported Stadia with Destiny, right? And now you can pretty much get Destiny on Game Pass with all of the exclusives, and they paid money for that, So it's crazy. They are in everyone's pockets, man. And it's my question is, how are these companies gonna combat this? Because this is gonna be an issue moving forward, especially like if this talks about them purchasing the Japanese studio, Microsoft, and this talks about it being Sega, right? If they get Sega, man, guys, it's gonna be a problem. There's no other way to put it. But anyway, damn, we spent way too much time here on Luna. But let's if someone else want to hop on, feel free. If not, we're just gonna move to Geforce Now. All right, cool. So Geforce Now had the Geforce Now Thursday. Again, every Thursday they give us some Geforce Now news. And this week, the focus was heavily on sales, which I think is good. I don't know how they pulled this off, but they had sales from Ubisoft. They had sales from Square Enix, from Deep Silver, and also from other Geforce Now titles. Again, good stuff, because my thing is, Google Stadia has these sales for pro members. How is NVIDIA going to combat that or rival that? But it seems like they found a way to. So I'm just going to, I don't know if I want a list of all these sales because it's a lot of them, but just want to check in with the panel, see what y'all's thoughts are with these sales. Do you think this is a good thing for them moving forward? Or do you think like this is meh? So let's check in with Holt. What's your take on these sales?
Nah, to me it's more meh. Because the whole point is I thought a lot of people believed that Geforce Now was a great platform to have because it was more subscription based. And usually these sales, you usually can get them for a lot cheaper everywhere else. It's great that they're emphasising their partnerships with other storefronts, but I usually feel that a lot of people look otherwhere to get these titles on Geforce Now.
Okay. So it's not that big of a deal?
No, not to me. I mean, like I said, a lot of people actually praise Ubisoft Plus. So them Ubisoft titles become irrelevant for the people that actually want to play them and they've already got Ubisoft Plus. Me, I'm a type of gamer that actually buys games. So in the end, part of me is like, oh yeah, it's great for the people who haven't got it. But because they're usually PC gamers, I know they look somewhere else than these partnerships.
So do you think this is something that is going to be consistent, that keeps going? Or do you feel like just like the indie, focus Thursday, that this is just a focused sales Thursday for them?
But the whole point is, if they're going to work with these and they label it as partnerships with the stores, then that's great for the deals. But I also want the games that they're partnering with these stores, which I've been complaining about week in, week out. So I would love to see more options available for everyone else.
Okay. Monkey, what are your thoughts on the Geforce Now sales this week?
Yeah, Holt's kind of conveyed my point. Yeah, if like Geforce Now obviously is aimed towards PC gamers, most of them don't purchase games from these storefronts. But yeah, no, it's good. It's good to see that they're putting them in there. Yeah. Maybe trying to show off the platforms and put them out there for everyone to know that the sales are coming is good. And there's some really good games on there that I didn't know you could actually play on Geforce Now. Like every day it seems finding a new game that you didn't know was on the service. But yeah, I mean, some of the prices are fantastic. But again, as we know, not a lot of people use these places to get their PC games, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's interesting that you said there are games that we didn't even know that in Geforce Now. When we're gonna get to Xbox in the id event, but there's a game there that a lot of people were really anticipating, and I found out that day that Geforce Now actually had it. But what's the name of the game? Do you remember?
Lost Oasis, I think, was
That
it?
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oasis.
that's in Geforce Now, and that was like one of the biggest games at that event, which is again pretty cool. But yeah, let's check in with Ben. What's your take on these sales, man?
I think it's I think it's more of a marketing thing for them, more of a stunt. I don't think that they're trying to make money off from it so much as just trying to raise awareness. Like, hey, these games are on here. Look at these sales. Come play over here. I think that's more of what they're trying to do with it,
Okay.
rather than trying to collect payment on these games.
Okay, fair enough. How about you, Ray? What's your take on these sales, man?
You know what, man? I think some of the ones that are 75%, 80%, those are some pretty good deals. You can't just like, I think that's great. So I'm kind of like in the middle, because there is some games that I actually, would probably try out, because 85%, that's pretty good. That's a good sale. 75%, that's a good sale.
Yeah, true. I mean, Just Cause 4, 80% off. I mean, Rise of Tomb Raider, 80% off. It's insane, right?
Right.
Cool. How about you, Duncan? What's your take on these sales?
I'm going to make a joke to start off with. I think it's actually quite funny that this is actually came out this week when there has been a new Twitter account created called Cloud Gaming Deals, and no comment who made. I was actually following a suggestion by Charles and following this podcast last week, so I made it up quickly there, and I'm trying to get on top of it. I think I'm going to need more people to come on. I just find that a bit funny. Regarding if this is a good thing, I think it's 100% a good thing, and what I want them to actually do to take it a step further is integrate these a bit better into the app and such, like so you can just go and click buy. I'm buying it now.
Agreed.
And that would be the next step, and I think that could be absolutely brilliant. What Hell Monkey just said was, I forgot this game was on Geforce Now. This is exactly why they should be doing this, to just
True.
remind people what games are on Geforce Now, because I'm sorry, 800 games, you're going to forget what all these 800 games are, and having this here will jog your memory. And for me, the star game to actually get out from all of them is Thief Gold 80p, or sorry, 70p. Go get that. Absolutely old school game, and it brings me the whole way back. That is ridiculous. So it'll be about $1. It is absolutely a class game, and it's well worth checking out. But with this, I want them to see this more. Keep it official if you want to keep it official, but even just have it there just to remind people what games are on Geforce Now is great.
Cool. Thank you. Host, did we get to you on this one?
Yes, she did.
Okay,
yes, she did.
cool.
But it's like I said, Duncan made 2 deals the other week. I think he was mentioning Outriders on Humble Bundle and stuff like that. And then we were saying like £15 off. And I checked out, like, wow, it's amazing. And if you go to this other company, Humble Bundle, which is a great discounted platform, you probably find all these games a lot cheaper than these official partnerships. So it's like, why don't you bring up other partnerships that are actually bringing constant sales all the time? Bring Humble Bundle into the mix.
True. Agreed. Maybe that's a partnership they will form later, but I agree. Good stuff. So let's move into the games that was released for Geforce Now this week. So I wish we had Mark and Jerry. I want to see how they would defend this week, because again, this is what I think. It's another week, and this is week 4 or 5 now for the Geforce Now platform. So we have Space Base, Startopia, Overcooked, All You Can Eat, Paradise, Door Kickers, Evoland Legendary Edition, Iron Conflict, Railroad Corporation, Sword and Fairy 7, The Thief Gold, which is an okay game, Trackmania, United Forever, Worms Reloaded, and Wrench. These are Geforce Now games for this week, fellas. What are y'all's thoughts, man? okay, hold. Let's start with you here. Where would you rate these games?
To me, it's once again, it's like the 6th week for me. This is really, really getting on my nerves. That there's been titles that I really want to play, and every time and time again, these games come out, and it's definitely not for me. It doesn't have to be for me, but partially these games that are coming out, they're only offering partial controller support because the simulator types of games. And I'm like, well, if I'm on the move, I'm not going to be walking around with mouse and keyboards playing these games. And all these games that you're bringing out, sometimes it's like Space Simulator 17. I'm like, that's such... What makes you want to leave one simulator for another? And it's great to offer other people, but for me, I'm like, I can name a list of games that I would love to see Geforce Now with their partnership of storefronts bring to the title. So I looked at this list and I thought, nope, I'm not going to play a single one of them. And I know I've been banging the drum of late saying about Kingdom Hearts, but that comes out on the 29th of March. And I'm like, okay, the Thursday before the 29th of March, Square Enix has just done a big, huge push. The working with cloud, where is Geforce's Now support? And to me, I'm like, okay, we're only another few days away through next Thursday. And I'm like, I bet you any money they don't get like Oddworld Soulstorm. They don't get Humankind, which is part of the Epic Store. They don't get Lost Words. They don't get Near Replicants. And it'll just be more and more simulator games. And to me, I'm labeling the platform now. We just joked around. Holtz loves the simulators. It is to me, it's becoming a simulator indie platform.
Yeah. Good. Again, I will ask this question again next week to Mark, because I'm really curious if they thought this was a good week. But let's check in with you, Ray. Where do you stand with these releases, man?
Overcooked? No, I'm just playing. None of them. Yeah. To be honest, no, I'm just being honest. None.
Okay. Hell Monkey, where do you stand with these games?
Listen, look, I can see why people don't want to play them, but I'm that sad guy that likes playing simulator games. I'm a vehicle technician to trade. That's my day job. So when I see car mechanic simulator and wrench and things, I've just got to jump in and try them, man. I've just got to jump in and try them,
I love the way I play games to go to different fantasy worlds and realms, and you're just a car mechanic still coming back from work fixing cars.
But the thing is, though, right? Okay, so this week, there's games in there for me, but I don't think there's enough variety of games for everyone.
Yeah,
you got to balance that out. You got to have a good couple of different genres. Give everyone a reason to take a look and say, "Oh, do I want to try that game?" But there's not been that for the last couple of weeks now, so there hasn't.
True. Okay, let's check in with you, Duncan. What's your take on these games, man?
I actually think it was an okay week. I don't think it was a great week. I don't think it was a poor week. I think it was just a solid week.
So what games stand out to you from this
Okay,
list?
We've been talking about the simulators. It's not the simulators. What we're looking for here is variety, and we have got variety there. We have got Overcooked in there.
Okay.
We've got an old school game there in Thief and in Worms as well. We've got a RTS Dota type game in Iron Conflict. And one thing I would actually think this is actually worth a real good discussion is we've got another demo. So if you're subscribing now to your $10 a month on Geforce Now, you can actually not only do you have access to all these 80 games or 80 free-to-play games on Geforce Now, the number of demos is increasing. Again, that game there, which is a demo,
which one?
Which would be the game for Holtz. Hi, Holtz. There is a game in here for you. It is the Sword and Fairy 7 a trial. That is a Japanese, it's a Chinese take on RPG. Again, I think it's actually.
Is this that game? Sorry to cut you off. Is
Oh.
this? Oh, no. Oh,
So,
okay.
so we have actually got a mix of games. Yes, we are again a simulator heavy. I'm not taking that point away, but I think it's pretty good. We've got a couple of games which are day and date, and Overcooked 2. Overcooked All You Can Eat is the combination of 1 and 2. It is getting some negative reviews there on Steam, to be absolutely fair, because they need to fix their controller support on it. But I think it has been a reasonable week. Yes, they probably need to go into a bit more of their back catalogue and get more AAA games there. But from what is out there this week, I think it was okay. I'm not saying it is an absolute, oh my God, this is an amazing week. I just think it was a okay sort of week. And I don't think it was actually that poor, to be fair. 3-day and date releases. One thing I do, which I am not liking the look of, it's something which has actually been brought up in the chat here as well, is we're not getting the Epic free games anymore. We used to get at least one of them every sort of week or every 2 weeks. That seems to have died a bit of a death at this point.
I was going to comment on that because somebody was asking me earlier this week about that. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, but I think that's worth mentioning as well. That for me, that's more of the negative, that we're missing out in the free games on Epic.
We haven't had a free Epic game since before Christmas.
Ooh, wow, didn't know.
That's the last one I remember. I've checked every week, and there hasn't been any. I think that they're having, to Holt's point about not hearing about all those Epic games, I think they're having a struggle with their partnership right now. And that's why we're not hearing anything yet. And they might be ironing out some contractual stuff or something. I don't know.
That's me, because I joke around about simulators all the time. Simulators that I really like is, give me Project Cars free, give me The Sims, give me Football Manager, and I'll be on Geforce Now, and I'll play them games. But you're not. You're clearly not. You're just bringing titles that I feel are quite outdated and focus on a certain genre, which is a city space building game.
Yeah. Again, not too impressed. Who are we missing here? Did we get everyone's take on these games, Ben?
I kind of butt in and kind of took away from Duncan there, so I said pretty much what I wanted to.
Okay, so Epic is one that we haven't been getting. Yeah, again, for me personally, not too impressed, and I'm seriously running out of patience with Geforce Now with game selection. They're gonna be saved next week because we know Outriders is coming, but after Outriders, if they go back to this week releases, man, I'm gonna have a lot to say, because they've, even I would say Luna at this point is pulling out better games than they are. And not to throw shades at Jades, but that's the reality of the situation.
And I said this last week, double the price of the subscription, double the expectations off me. And it's a bit harsh, but the price that they're charging now, I look at other subscriptions like Game Pass and I go to myself, how can I justify that over that?
True. That's all for Geforce Now. Anyone else have anything they want to add to this before we move on to Stadia, which, my goodness, we have a lot to talk about. That's it. All right, cool. We're gonna hop onto Stadia now. Let's start off with the big announcement, which is Resident Evil 7 and Village coming to Google Stadia. So you get Resident Evil 7 as a Google Stadia Pro member, and then you're getting the Village same day release as other platform. This is big. We knew this was coming. Again, there's leaks of this coming, but to actually get a solid confirmation that it's happening, again, kudos to the Google Stadia team for shelling out $10 million to get this game to the platform based on the rumors, right? What do y'all's take on Resident Evil 7 and Village coming to the Google Stadia platform? To get started, we'll go with Ray on this one.
Huge. This is huge. I was actually playing Dead by Daylight and somebody says, hey, did you hear the news? I said, what? He says, we got Resident Evil 8 and 7. I stopped, got killed. In my I had to go on my laptop and see if it was true. You know, because I heard the rumors, but then I've always heard speculations and rumors before, so I didn't know what was what. And so I looked on Twitter, and sure enough, there it was. And I am extremely happy that it's coming and that we're getting Resident Evil 7 as a pro game. That's massive. That's huge. That's something that's like a Stadia needed that. Needed that.
To go even a step further, from what I'm hearing, don't know if this is accurate, but again, GTP and Chief is probably going to test this out. But sorry, this possibly can be running at 60 FPS. On top of that, right? How sick would that be if this releases at 4K? Right?
I'll just jump in here and say, that is what the leak implied, that was part of the contract, that it had to be 60 FPS, and that's both titles, by the way. That isn't just 7. It was Village as well.
Right. So, I mean, if you give us this game for free as pro members, 4K 60, I mean, that just takes the experience of this game to another level. Like, I played this game on Luna. It runs okay there, but it's not 4K 60 on Luna. So that would even make this game even more sweet as a pro game come to first. Again, good stuff. Good stuff. But let's check in with Holtz. What's your take on this, man?
Of course, Capcom's been one of them publishers that I thought, whatever goes to whatever cloud service, I will put my money where my mouth is and buy any of them Capcom games that come out. When I saw the big picture on like the keynotes, I've joked around over the years, like maybe it'll be Devil May Cry, maybe it'll be, I don't know, Street Fighter, Mega Man or whatever. But seeing it was Resident Evil Village day and date really got me excited that I ran out and already clicked pre-order. Giving me a Chromecast Stadia Premier Edition was a great incentive as well. Yeah. But to me, I'm already part of the Stadia ecosystem. But to me, I still thought it was a great, huge push. And I had full confidence that the likes of Stadia will work with Capcom to bring another great port that is better to play than other services.
I forgot about the Premier Edition. Let's bundle that into this news too. I mean, how big is that, right? Giving people the opportunity to get a Premier for free, essentially. Big stuff. And I'm forgetting something else. There's also multiplayer aspect of Resident Evil 8 called Reverse or something like that. That's also coming. So, holy crap, guys. I mean, this news. And then to go a step further, right? This is Capcom coming to Stadia. And I'm wondering, like, if this opens the possibility of, like Holtz was saying, seeing a game like Mega Man come to, seeing a game like Devil May Cry, like the Onimusha series, right? Those franchises are huge. And does this, like, open the gateway for those games to come to the platform as well, right? Big stuff. Big stuff. Let's get it to you, Hell Monkey. What's your take? I'm saving Duncan for last year on this one.
Okay.
I want to hear you take it to Duncan, but we'll save the best for last. But what's your take on this, Hell Monkey?
I know it's fantastic. I think as well, you know, the Resident Evil 7 going to Pro, it's the gold edition, isn't it, as well? Yeah. So it's not just the base game. Yeah. They're thrown on there, you know, the full the all in one package. You guys have covered most of it, but I'm thinking, see, with the reverse multiplayer, I'm really hoping that's going to come with some Stadia features, crowd choice and crowd play. I think that's got to be a must, you know, to bring people in, give them that opportunity that they can't get anywhere else. And 4K 60. I think that's got to be the baseline for these games that are coming to Stadia. It's got to be. No one wants to play games at 30 frames anymore. So they don't. It's becoming more and more outdated. And when you go back to playing an old game that is 30 FPS, it's so bad in comparison. So give us those games. Give us these games at 4K 60 if they're good and they do well. Capcom, bring the rest of your games as well, please.
Please. Ben, what's your take on this news?
It's pretty cool news that they're doing the same deal they did with Cyberpunk, doing the Premier Edition. The only downside is there was some trash talk from Capcom, from the developers earlier this week, saying that they won't have the same issues Cyberpunk did with older gen consoles.
Ooh,
that Cyberpunk did. Yeah, they took shots fired at CD Projekt Red. So I don't think Stadia is going to be able to rely on it not working on PS4 and Xbox One to be able to attract people. But, you know, it's cool that it's coming. I hope it really works, and I hope it's successful on Stadia.
So now that you bring that up, do you think like the Stadia version will be closer to old gen tech or what we're seeing with new gen tech? And that's going to be, I mean, even if it does struggle on the PS4, if it doesn't struggle, right? It's still Stadia might still be a better place to play it, and it's probably a more affordable, especially like since you get a Premiere for free by just pre-order, right? Wouldn't you say so?
The way I see it is, Sosman.
Go ahead.
I would do Stadia over last gen consoles,
Right.
but I would probably do next gen consoles over Stadia for this game, personally. Even though I'm not really big on the Resident Evil franchise.
Okay. But if you still can't find the next generation console, would you say, I mean, essentially you get this game for free by pre-ordering. I mean, you get like a console for free to play this game, right?
I'm just putting this in here. I know Holtz has said that he has pre-ordered to start off with. Did the price not take you back?
No, the price didn't knock me back because to me, I was like, when I seen the Premier Edition added on top of it, I incentivized to actually jumped on board. And to me, I could have played anywhere, but to me, to have it on the go and play on my tablets and phone and stuff like that was just a great, huge push for that price. I understand. Because to me, I've paid £70 for Call of Duty. I paid £70 for Ratchet and Clank. I paid £65 for Crash Bandicoot. They are all the same prices, and that's on PlayStation 5. So 65 didn't scare me.
I'm just saying, for yes, maybe you're not aware of the context of this. It is £65 in the UK, which is £10 more than Xbox and PlayStation, which puts it into like the $90 sort of bracket. And yes,
but I've been there with the Switch. I'm used to Switch prices being a little bit more than the actual consoles, but I would rather pay for the portability aspect a little bit more than just be sitting at a console all the time. So
that's why I was just bringing up about the price, sir.
Okay, cool. Now we're gonna get to you, Duncan. What's your take on this news?
It's absolutely awful, and they should give their $10 million back because they shouldn't be bringing it. Absolutely. Again, I will say this now, and I'll say this at the end when we talk about the Stadia. Stadia has had a great week, all in all. No one can take that away. Resident Evil coming is great news. It is not giving me any more confidence in the service. It's not reducing my confidence in the service. It was known that it was happening, and this has all been paid for, but you can't take it away that it is coming, and that you're getting a Chromecast if you pre-order the game. The Premier Edition, where they're just trying to get rid of them. I think that is the general consensus, that they're just trying to get rid of them because they're going to be tying it into the new Google TV. I think they're just looking to get rid of the stock. I think that's fairly accepted. Would people agree or disagree with that?
They stop production.
Yeah,
so that should tell you something, right?
Yeah, they're just. It is a good deal, and no one can say otherwise. It's not a good deal, and they're just trying to get rid of this so they can maybe get the new Google TV with a Stadia controller in with it. So pick it up there. My issue was the price of £65. I think when you're trying, again, this is a publisher issue, not a Stadia issue. £65. I know some people are going to say taxes and all that. Cyberpunk was £50 over here in the UK, and you got that deal. So you're paying an extra £15 for Resident Evil. So again, I'm just not. I just have my issues with the pricing. Never mind my other issues, but overall, it is absolutely great. And for me, I don't want to be 4K 60 and no textures. I want it to be. I would prefer 1080 60 and everything turned up to max. That would be my preference. Because as we'll probably come to it later with Dirt 5 is only 1080, and it's 1080 60, and it is turned up to max, and that run. I think that's some people saying that's looking better than next gen consoles, or it's comparable. That's just because they've got everything turned on, and that would be my ideal: is lower the resolution, have 60, and have more bells and whistles.
Yeah, Dirt 5, we'll get to that in a bit, but it's an excellent port. Still can't believe that's only 1080. The magic that they pulled, I mean, run that on your Chromecast Ultra and 4K TVs, just a beauty. But yeah, okay. All right, so we heard from Duncan about Resident Evil. Again, though, we still have 2 more Stadia news to cover, so let's get right into that. So
I think Ray was wanting to say something.
Yeah,
go
I
ahead,
did.
sorry,
Just
Ray,
gonna
sorry.
figure out.
I'm like,
You
Ray,
know,
go ahead.
I got. Why does it always have to be just because they do a bundle? It's got to be they're trying to get rid of it. I mean, do you understand? There's a lot of people. I got a lot of friends that are kind of envy because I got a PS5 and they don't. And there's a lot of people that don't have these next gen consoles. So I think the best way that you can actually experience and play it, if you don't have a next gen console, is to play it in the clouds. And I guarantee you, there's a lot of people that got, you know, how would you gonna play Cyberpunk? Okay, and I had friends that had it. My cousin had it on the PS4 and it was garbage. I told him, dude, get it on Stadia, and got it on Stadia. He loved it on Stadia. So, you know, I think once again, I think it's a huge win for Stadia because a lot of people are going to want to play it on the cloud. You don't have to download, and you got a lot of Stadia features. So I look at it like that.
But no one bashes like the likes of PlayStation 5 bundles, do they? Buy a PlayStation 5 and get a cheaper game or a free game because you'll have nothing else to play. So no one says it the other way, do they?
Yeah, I'm not knocking it for a comment. I think it's just an inventory issue. I can go back if you want to go back. We can go back to the Jason Schreider article from a number of months ago, where he says Stadia has massively underperformed and they've got a ton of these in the warehouses and they're not shipping. So again, I think it is just an inventory issue. It is a brilliant deal. Go back and if you want to get it, pick it up. But I am not knocking the deal. And if it was going to knock it, I'll just go on live. This is what on live is doing, and not as if I was going to go and knock it. But I think it is a great deal.
Village, there's a lot of Resident Evil fans. There's a lot of people that don't play it. I know there's a lot of people that do play it, and I guarantee you, there's going to be a lot of people that are probably going to want to play it on the clouds. That's just my opinion.
So, I do. That's what I was going to say. I do feel sorry for Stadia because, like, is people saying no games coming, took the punches over 15 months. And when I look back at 15 months and think of all the games that I could have wanted, they brought everything that was promised. So to me, part of me is like, only if they slipped a little bit of marketing a few months earlier and give us a roadmap, they might have pushed more and more users to come to the platform because these titles are huge in my playbook.
Yes, so why wasn't this on the flipping thing months ago when we knew it was there? And it's the same
but you guys, you talk of Google if they're a bunch of idiots. Google people are I live 20 minutes from Silicon Valley. Some of my neighbors, my old boss work at Google. Okay, these are smart, brilliant people. You might want to, everybody sometimes speculate that all these certain things, but
Google is brilliant. Nobody ever questions that. Stadia, their marketing and PR is terrible.
Marketing and PR is a Google issue.
It's a Google issue.
It is.
Speaking. Yeah.
Pixel phones.
Yeah.
Probably
same
the best.
Nexus before Pixel. Even I wish I can show you guys my. But yeah, I've been purchasing a bunch of.
They struggled selling Google Home Minis until they started giving them away for free. Then they started selling more once everybody had one.
It's not a Stadia issue. I think it is a Google issue, and I think that's the issue that Stadia is having. Most of their divisions struggle with this, and it sucks. That's why I keep saying I wish someone else had Stadia. Not saying that Google, I love the infrastructure, but I think again, don't hate me, fanboys, but I think like if another company like Microsoft or possibly even Amazon had Stadia, I think they would have done a better job with PR and pushing this service. Don't hate me, but it's just kind of a bummer because I know how Google operates, and I think they're the ones that are kind of bringing this down. And that's the frustration that a lot of us and a lot of people have with it, which sucks. It really sucks, but in a way, it's kind of the reality of the situation.
I think bringing in Phil was also kind of hurt them because people already knew his reputation at other places, and maybe were afraid to give it a shot.
Yeah.
No,
he kind of overhyped it in the beginning before it was even ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, Phil might not have been the right guy to bring in, but he had a new beginning. I mean, let's not look at his history with, Sony. I mean, this is a new beginning. They're giving you a responsibility, start fresh, but from the way things are looking, it's still the same Phil issue. Anyway, we have other Stadia stuff to talk about, so let's move on. But again, this is a good week. Let's
Focus on the positives.
Focus on the
positive.
Can we all say? I'm going to say it again. Stadia has had a great week. I think
fantastic week.
Yes,
fantastic.
I think most people in the whole cloud gaming community would say Stadia has had a great week.
Yeah.
Weeks for me.
True.
Thank you, Holt.
Had a good couple of weeks. They just got overshadowed. That's the only problem.
Thank you, Holt.
And if I had a calendar now and I could show you where I could pencil that Stadia, I think they had got more successful points than the likes, I would say, of Geforce Now or PlayStation Now and stuff like that. Yep. So
that's where I was going to go next. When it comes to games, I would say for sure, hands down, for the past 3 weeks.
Or 3 weeks, yes.
Yes, Stadia has had the better games week after week than Geforce Now, hands down. Not even a question.
Throw in Luna on that list too. They had the better games than Luna for the last 3 weeks too.
But I would say over the whole, we're in the nearly 4 of the end of 3 months, I would say Geforce Now has had a better year or year to date for games. And all I need to mention is one game in particular. I don't think anybody can have any complaints, and it's Valheim. Yeah, and then you've got the other filler games as well, which they've had Hitman,
if Valheim would have flopped, right? I mean, Valheim is a success story, and I think that's why it's a good game. Don't get me wrong. If I don't play it because I died and lost all my progress, let's move on. But if that game did not succeed, right? Looking at Geforce again, that was a Hail Mary, hit it, home run situation, right? If that game did not succeed, realistically speaking, you compare the both of them, where would you put Geforce Now games week after week compared to Stadia?
But then you've had another game. It's like we're just being selective here. We're just taking games here.
Which other game?
Rainbow Six Siege.
And we have had a Dyson Sphere program as well, which was the big get. We've also had Hitman. We've also had
Stadia had Hitman too. Right?
Yeah, we're going to compare and contrast. Yes, Stadia had Hitman as well, but Geforce had Hitman. We on Geforce Now, you also had the big talking point game from a month or two ago, the Medium as well.
Well, the one I can remember being close to Valheim was Little Nightmares 2. And I remember thinking to myself, well, they had the demo Geforce Now, but they haven't got the game. And that game sold over 1 million. So I don't know how many people's playing Valheim now, but I do still think 1 million's an impressive title, and he didn't get them games. So to me, I do think they're lucky with the game that they got, which is Valheim. I agree exactly the same with these.
They got lucky. Again, that's a game, Stadia could have easily got.
And I've mentioned in the past, there's games that was in the Steam top 10 that I've been mentioning since February and March, and all people have been saying to me, there's no games in February and March, and I think I've named up 10 that was in the Steam top 10 chart, and Geforce Now still failed. And all I've been hearing over the last 8 weeks, 9 weeks is Valheim, which is great. But I think they're just labeling one game a success.
and again, it was It was Hail Mary, not Hail Mary, but it was luck that the game turned out to be successful. I mean, they didn't.
So was Cyberpunk for Stadia. That was 100% pure luck.
But the whole point is that a lot of people why it was lucky is because it failed for all the people who own physical hardware. So it wasn't more successful to Stadia, it was more successful cloud push, I think. Because all the physical hardware failed. Well, last year.
All right, let's move on. We got like 30 minutes to cover all the rest of the news. All right, so 3 games were released for Stadia this week. Again, 3 games, right? So we had Murder by Numbers, Dirt 5, and K's and the Wild Mask. So out of those 3, you guys just hop on. Let any of you guys pick any of these games up. Are there any of these games that you're excited about? Where do y'all stand with these games?
The only one that interested me was Dirt 5, but I've already been playing that on xCloud and Series X.
That's another thing.
So
it is on Game Pass. So
the one that's catching my attention, I'm hovering my thumbprint over the Play Store, the Stadia Store to get. I really want to play Kaze and the Wild Masks because I do love Donkey Kong Country in the past, and I love Tropical Freeze, and I love the likes of Rayman Legends, and it just screams out them games to me. And I'm like, because I've spent big this week, and I've got the likes of the pro games coming up on the 1st April. Part of me is in 2 minds: should I press it? Should I? But I really, really want to play it.
I would tell you it's a fun one, especially like if you have kids. It's a platform. My overview, I said it's a platformer that Stadia needs. Again, they don't have those games like Rayman or, Crunch Band. They need
Donkey Kong, Tropical Freeze.
Yeah. So this is unless you want to play some SpongeBob SquarePants Bikini Bottom, but this is a good platform for the platform.
I heard Dirt 5 has some freezing issues though.
It does.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I was getting ready to buy it, and I watched someone stream it, and I saw it freeze, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait.
But let's be real on the pricing with Dirt 5, though. I think
it's
that's
a little high.
The issue.
It's definitely high.
The fact that you can hold to say no, but that's what a 5 to 6 months old game, right?
To me, I'm the type of person. I'm the type of person that loves seeing games come to sale price for Stadia, but not all of them does. So when I went across the platforms, it was the same price. And when people go, on PlayStation, PlayStation, the Xbox Store, the Steam Store, it might be a little bit cheaper on the Steam Store, like £5, but it's roughly the same price for the titles that you're expecting. And when people were saying, it was cheaper a few weeks ago, I was like, well, let me get my time machine and I'll go and buy it then. But to me, it's not valid. This game is only on season 1. There's going to be other seasons to come out. And to me, it is a great price across all platforms.
I'm seeing it for $34 on Amazon for the PS4 version.
Holtz, I'll go with my time machine. And I will transport myself to today. And we will look at Kaze, whatever you call it, and the Wild Masks. And not only is that cheaper on other platforms, it's actually on sale on Steam at this moment in time.
Yeah. Well, that's updated, is it? But, yeah, same point. Yes, it is. At this instant, yes.
Yes, I'm just saying, and that is a brand new game which has came out this week. Dirt 5, the point about it being on sale before, I think some of us were expecting it to be like a FIFA situation where it would come on at discount. We're not talking it will come on at full price, again, 55 quid. Yikes. But I don't think it is actually the point about being in a time machine is it has been on sale for less than 50% off. It's been over 50% off on other platforms during this first 6 months because it's had a bit of a rough ride. From all intents and purposes, it hasn't sold maybe as well as it should have. And it was down to £25, which would be about $30. So it has had a big, massive discount on other platforms. I was expecting probably a FIFA come in, be on sale for like a week.
Tier 5, £55. PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4 and 5. So
yeah,
in the end,
on the PlayStation Store.
On the PlayStation Store. So in the end, it's.
And we don't have sales. We don't have sales on the same platform at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I just mentioned with Kaze and the Wild Masks. Yeah. I know that was one of the things. But it's not on sale on PlayStation. It's not on sale on Xbox. There's games on sale on PlayStation and Xbox.
I agree. But I agree. I started that sentence by saying I do expect games that are a few months older to come at a sale price for Stadia. But that's my expectations. That's me demanding. Should they cater for me? Well, I hope they do. But
I want to say about this Kazi and the Wild Mask. At Gandara's point, it was funded by the Stadia Makers program. So why is Stadia the most expensive place for me to buy Kazi and the Wild Masks? And that's over Xbox and PlayStation as well. I just find that boggling. That it is £5 dearer on Stadia.
All right, so the question is, was this a good get for Google Stadia this week? Can we?
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's been a great week for Stadia.
Yeah, true. Cool. And then the last news, let's just hop into this, right? Because we still got xCloud to cover. 4 awesome, I would say, Japanese games. And let me share my screen with you guys because the pronunciation for these games are not easy, right? But actually, let me go to my notes here. But yeah, 4 games was released, and those games are Ys 8 and Ys 9. Something people fail to realize is that this game is kind of exclusive, right? You can get this game on Ys 8 on Nintendo. I don't know if Ys 9 was confirmed for Nintendo, but I know Sony had a little exclusive to it, right? It's not on Xbox, but it's coming to the PlayStation 4 system. And then it should be coming to PC sometime this year, they said, but no specific date yet. But Stadia is getting Ys 9. I actually was thinking about purchasing this game on the PS4 because I loved Ys 8. So that is great, right? And then they have the other tactical games coming for the platform, Legend of Heroes, Trials of Cold Steel 4 and 3. Just so you guys know, if you guys cannot wait for Stadia to get 3, you can actually go to Geforce Now, and that game is on there as well. But I would say these 4 games are excellent games. And when Hell Monkey was doing the news vid, he did some research. And these games don't go cheap. I know you guys might look at the price and say $60, what the hell? But if you look elsewhere, realistically, you cannot find this game for cheap. It's just as expensive on Geforce Now. I was trying to see, because again, it's PC, Steam, if I can get a key for a cheaper price, and it was still as high. But overall, I would say these are great Japanese RPGs, something Stadia desperately needs. Take Dragon Quest out, take Final Fantasy 15 out, and Octopath Traveler. Just really, and then
Valkyrie Chronicles,
and then Attack of the Titans, which some people can call, even though it's more of action RPG, whatever. But there's really not a lot of Japanese RPGs, so to get 4 is huge. So I love the news, but just wanted to check with the panel and see where you guys are at with this. So to get started, Holtz, when I heard this news, I thought of you.
Yeah.
What's your take on these games?
I was doing backflips when I seen them, and it wasn't just bringing the East games, the 8 and the Legends of Heroes, Cold Steel 3. It's the fact I was very excited. They're coming first, and the next ones are coming this year. So I don't have to go anywhere else. It's coming to a cloud platform at up to 4K 60. And the price doesn't really worry me because I'm so used to the publishers setting the price. And when I go to the... And when they come to the Switch,
that's the most made sense all night.
Yeah, when they do come to the Switch, they come at them prices. So I'm used to they come at them prices even years down the line. They come to them prices. So seeing Stadia getting these games that I'd love on consoles at that price is a big huge push for me.
Cool. And Hell Monkey, where do you stand with it? Go ahead.
I would highly recommend any of these games to any of them. I know when I was saying about Ys 8, like Amosa done I did munching it on Luna, and I've seen them on GeForce Now, and I would say anywhere you can play them.
It is on Luna. It is.
And they're on GeForce Now
and
as well.
GeForce Now. So again, you guys, that's Ys 8. I don't know if 9 is coming here anytime soon.
At the moment, if you want to support the platform that you want to, play these games. They're amazing.
Great games for sure. All right, Duncan, where do you stand with this? Actually, let's get you in. Go ahead.
I'm not going to say that again. brilliant gets for the platform. I think it's absolutely what they've been crying out for. I can see Holtz there. There's something coming. There's something coming. There's something coming.
And there's me saying the opposite. Duncan's making sense all night. He's being positive. Oh.
Yeah, and I'll just drop my webcam down. And with this, variety is key, as we've mentioned with Geforce Now. You need a range of different games out on the platform. These games here, I have. Are you ready, everybody? I have absolutely zero problems with the pricing of this coming at full price. These games, that I would be expecting full price for these games coming to Stadia. This is actually a positive, believe it or not. I believe they probably could have maybe spaced these out a wee tad better, because we're getting 2 on the one day and 1 the following week, and then you've got the one coming.
I saw that. Yeah,
I think that it could have maybe been spaced out a bit, but it's still great that they're coming. As people may know, JRPGs or Marmite, you're either going to dive straight into these or you're not going to play them at all. If you're going to buy one of these, the chances are you're going to buy all 4. I think Colts, you're going to get all 4.
No, I already own 2 of them, so I'm going to actually focus on the new ones. But
but generally the point would be you would be tempted if one of them went in deep sales sort of thing.
Of course, yes, double dip, of course I'll double it.
Yeah, it's more if you're not into JRPGs, you're probably not going to touch them. But that's not what these games are about. These are going out there to appeal for the JRPG audience. Absolutely brilliant get.
I agree.
And like chat saying, it's not just for the JRP fans; it's for also the expansion of Stadia going to Eastern market. So because these titles are more huger there than they are here, but it's great to get these titles that maybe the East would love to play.
Great game. Checking Metacritic, it's sitting at 80%. User review 8.5. This is East 9. Again, just PlayStation 4. I believe it was released February 2nd this year, so still a pretty new game. But yeah, I overall think this is a good get for sure. But Ben, what's your take on these games?
I said it earlier this week. JRPGs coming to Stadia is great because that's one genre they were extremely lacking in. Just RPGs in general. I mean, what they have right now is mainly shooters and platformers, and they lack pretty much everything else. Just their variety. This is nice to see.
Okay, fair enough. Hell Monkey, what's your take on this?
No, just fantastic getting these types of games. Price wise, as I said in the news video when I'd done some research, you can put like 150 to 200 hours easy in these games. So you can. So value-wise, you're going to get your value for your money in them. And you guys have covered everything basically. But more genres. And hopefully with these games coming, we see Stadia expanding to more regions soon, I hope.
Okay. Again, good stuff. Ray, what's your take on these games, man?
I have pretty much all the Japanese role-playing games on Stadia, so I will be adding these 4 games to my collection. Is it expensive? Yes, but this is what I love. I love putting in the hours and playing these games because these are actually the original type of games I played long time ago when I was young, playing it on Nintendo and playing on Sega. So I can't wait, and I think this is huge for Stadia, and I'm glad that they got this genre of games. I think it's great.
Yeah. Again, this Yeast 8 is coming pretty soon. And the difference between this, I want to see if this is going to be pushing 4K 60. Comparing it to Luna's, again, this is on Luna and some Geforce Now, right? But if this is pushing 4K 60, man, this game is beautiful. If you haven't played it yet, I would love to play this 4K 60 hands down. But
before we transition, I've seen a lot of people on the internet just being really frustrating that these titles are coming to Stadia and they're not coming to Xbox. And everyone was pulling their hair out, going, "How can Stadia get it but not Xbox?"
This game, I'm telling you guys might be like, "What the hell is this?" But if you follow, if you're a huge Japanese RPG person and follow, this is huge, guys, and that's why you're seeing the frustration. Because if this game came to Game Pass, it'll be big, you know. So this is a good get, definitely for Stadia, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. Anyone else? Did I cover everyone with this? Can we move on to what's going on in the world of Xbox and xCloud? Okay, cool. Let's do it. So Yakuza 6 released. Speaking about Japanese titles, right? Big game for xCloud. Now I would go as far as to say the whole series is complete. You can start from zero and finish all of the Yakuzas on Game Pass and xCloud, which is pretty cool. But just want to know, did anyone here in the panel pick up Yakuza 6 on Game Pass or xCloud?
I claimed it, but it's not all Yakuzas yet. We still haven't got like a dragon yet, but with a bit of faith, I believe they're definitely going to support it. But at the moment, I am literally panicking now because I'm playing from zero now, and I think that maybe usually games rotate a year in. So I'm like, how long do I actually have to finish these games? So I'm like, part of me's like, should I just buy them or should I just try and put as much time in as possible to finish 1 to 6, which God knows, like 350 hours.
Something I've been noticing here, I'm not sure if anybody else has, the games actually leaving Game Pass seem to be slowing down, just like what's been happening with Geforce Now. They seem to be just hanging around on Game Pass for a lot longer. We're only using 2 games this month. And Journey to the Savage Planet is one, and the other one has just completely slipped my mind. It seems to be just expanding out, and games they seem to be wanting to just hang around a bit longer. So let's hope that continues.
Well, I've got a little bit of faith that if these games are going to stick around, it's probably because maybe we mentioned before that Sega's doing an acquisition with Microsoft. So maybe they could stick. Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. So this game realistically scares the hell out of me on Game Pass, because for a company to have the whole franchise, 6 of them, right? I mean, I smell an acquisition coming pretty soon. I mean, the thing I would say is that Sony right now has exclusive rights to the newest Yakuza for a little bit, but I'm wondering, like, I wonder if that's what's actually preventing but I can totally see Microsoft acquiring Sega. And the fact that the whole Yakuza series from 0 to 6 is on this platform. And realistically, Holtz, I know you worry that it's going to leave. I don't see this leaving. For a company to have, imagine like all Final Fantasy in one platform, it shows dedication. And I think Microsoft, like Duncan was saying too, is going to shell out. Again, they're trying to enter the Japanese market, and they know how big of a series this is. They're going to shell out money to keep this on Game Pass for as long as they can. But yeah, realistically, this scares the crap out of me that they're going to be acquired.
And there's just to scare you some more, there's an absolutely massive game on Game Pass for PC and console belonging to Sega. Hellmonkey should know it, and Holt should know it.
Oh, first Football Manager.
Football Manager.
Yeah.
Huge.
It is
huge. That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah, and that is such a massive game, and that is owned by Sega. So that's another one to add into that as well.
Yeah, true. But yeah, anyone else get to test out Yakuza 6 for Game Pass?
I downloaded it on the Series X, but haven't had a chance to test it yet. I'll test it on xCloud later too, just to see. But
yeah, if you have the PC client, again, we did a video showcasing how to do that. But that game runs. I was really surprised. It looked really good and ran really well. It's a great way to experience it for sure. Right. How about you, Ray? Any interest in Yakuza?
I might just try it on xCloud.
Okay.
So,
cool. Hellmonkey, you?
No, I am patiently waiting for the official PC app to come for xCloud before I jump in, because I don't have a box, and I'm patiently waiting, and then it's just going to mean I'm going to have loads and loads of games to try when it finally comes.
True that. Duncan, what's your take on
that? I'm a bit worried to get stuck into Yakuza because The reason being is what Withholds has said. It's not worth leaving the platform. It's because it's if I play one, I'll probably want to play through the whole series, and I don't want to do that at this moment in time because I'm having fun jumping from game to game to game, and I don't want to tie myself down. But I think it's really great that they are there. Before I come into I have another game which has been just added to Game Pass, which I have got my eyes on.
Which one?
The game which has been on Stadia but never gets a discount, and Octopath Traveler.
That's a great game. I bought it on Stadia months ago.
Didn't Octopath Traveler get a discount?
I think it's like a $10. It's like a $10 discount. It wasn't big.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say Attack on Titan because that's the only one that I can remember.
Yeah, that's still never. But I have to say, with Octopath, even on the Switch, I remember waiting for a sale on that on the Switch, and it didn't get. Yeah, so I think it's just something with Square Enix and discount that game. I just don't understand, but I think it's like that for every other platform.
But yeah. Square Enix said they're actually bringing up to another 6 games, I remember reading, to Game Pass. And I remember thinking to myself, and I know I was like, well, they're going to bring... I remember reading something about Final Fantasy Trilogy coming, and I was like, well, are they going to bring Marvel's Avengers? And it's just loads of games, and I'm thinking, what are they going to support on Game Pass?
I think Marvel's Avengers is... I think that's a start for Game Pass. I think it's just it's a matter of when that will happen rather than if, because it's the perfect game for Game Pass. It's a gas game. It gets people in. It will boost out the number of people playing it. Again, I think that's a start for it.
Is that game free to play yet?
No, not yet.
I think that game needs to be free to play, especially like with the it's they're not having success financially with that game. I think if they make that game free to play, again, that's like a Destiny style type of game. I think they can get a lot of people in and maybe start, find that game is good. It's kind of a bummer that not a lot of people have tried it. But I think if you make it free to play, a lot of people have access to that game. Anyway, it's just me speaking. But yeah, so let's talk about the id event that happened. By the way,
the 3-hour-long event that Hell Monkey sat there and tortured himself through.
Yeah, for player Hell Monkey, I got to like 2.5 hours.
I was like, video. I watched the video, man. I saw the video, man. So I give you props.
I felt bad leaving him after 2 hours. I was like, poor monkey. Poor monkey.
I stayed until Duncan decided to do his thing because I wanted to see if I won Valheim. I'm still a little disappointed, but
Hell Monkey, man, I seriously don't know how you did that. After, like, I kept reading the comments, people were like, this is still going on? You still here? Like, this is still... It's hilarious. But yeah, kudos to you, man. It's crazy. But anyway, how many games would we say was announced there for Xbox? I mean, I would 100? 100
yeah,
plus?
over 100.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
So here's what I have to say with this, though. Only 20 of those games announced are coming to Game Pass. How do you guys feel about that? And then again, 16, to cut it even a little smaller, 16 of those games are coming to xCloud.
I think we'll see more coming and being announced in the future for sure.
Okay, I think
Duncan's muted and he's trying to talk.
Muted. We didn't hear you.
No, I was counting them with 60 games.
Oh.
I was counting how many games were announced, so it was 60 games which were announced.
60?
Yeah, they said they were going to do over 100, so I don't know where that came from.
Like more than 100, just realistically speaking. Oh man. Okay, so 60, and then 20s come to Game Pass. 16 of those is coming to xCloud. Okay.
What I think class there is the ones going to Game Pass. If you remember, if we go over what's going to Game Pass, most of the games don't seem to be going to xCloud. It seems to be very, very hit and miss. This seems a slight difference now that the vast majority of them, which are going to Game Pass day and date, are going to xCloud. They're only missing out 4. So the numbers coming to xCloud at the same time are increasing, which is good to see if this trend continues.
Okay.
Holtz is disagreeing. I can see it.
Go ahead,
No,
Holtz.
no. To me, I was just trying to think how much information actually registers in this event because it was too much for me. But I can remember having a laugh with Monkey and stuff like that. We were laughing over like Moonlight Bay, the fishing game, and I thought to myself, "Oh, that'll be a good game to play." And I think that's coming to Game Pass. Omo, Second Extinction. Which was a good game that looked. And then Duncan gives a shout out on Twitter for the Square Enix hand drawn, which was Astria Ascending. So there was a few games that really did captivate me that I really want to play and I'll buy even if it was outside the Game Pass. But at the moment, there was a bit too much to register. I give up after 2 hours.
Yeah, I agree. No, that's a solid point. A lot of games dropped for sure.
The interesting one for me, and this isn't to start fanboy wars or anything like that. I have to put these things out here. I think it's just an interesting observation. Is one of the games which are going to Game Pass day and date and going to xCloud is Hello Neighbor 2. And we do know that Hello Engineer is his first in Stadia game, and that is going to be a Stadia Pro game as well, as far as I know. I think it's just an interesting sort of development with that. We're going to have 2 Hello Neighbor sort of games, sort of competing on 2 different platforms. I just find that very intriguing, and it's not to be fanboy or anything like that. It's just the way this has actually panned out. So I think that was maybe worth mentioning.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. And these are the games that you guys can see right here are the 20 that have come to Game Pass. And I believe if you look here, 16 of these games are coming to the cloud. What do you take on these games, right? Stalker 2, I think would have to say is the biggest one coming to Game Pass. But any of these games excite you guys coming to xCloud Game Pass?
I saw several that I was excited for. You guys made fun of me because of Soup Pop, but I'll probably play it.
You would.
Just because I feel like my daughter would have a lot of fun playing that with me. Just learning how to cook on a video game just sounds fun. And then Moonglow Bay looked awesome too. Art of Rally, but I realized that that's on Geforce Now through Epic. But if that's going to Game Pass, which I think is how it is, then I'll be playing it on xCloud instead. No reason to pay for it if I'm already in a subscription. What else did I see the other day? There were a couple other ones.
I was going to just go to you with Moonglow Bay. I think that is the perfect game for Clyde. I think that has where you can just jump in and jump out of that game. That just looks nearly thought out to be a Clyde game.
Yeah. And
the 12 minutes game with James McAvoy and Willem Dafoe's voices in it. That looks awesome. The time loop game.
Yeah, I remember that. That did look good. But during our live chat, something I think Hell Monkey is someone holds. I don't know if it's you brought up that Game Pass is kind of making for instance, right? You can only play the cloud on mobile devices, right? PC support's coming soon, but then you see the touch controls, right? We're saying like indie games are actually a great fit for Game Pass. So it's interesting because they have a name for it now. This is what they call an xCloud, Xbox Cloud Gaming. So should we start calling it that? But pretty much it's a good fit, right? Indie games are a good fit for Xbox Cloud Gaming because again, you see the touch control support 720p, and again, most indie games are not like graphically intense games. So again, this might be a really good thing to have all these games come to the cloud.
And they're doing totally opposites, like Geforce Now, which I just mentioned about like Geforce Now. I have to bring a keyboard and mouse for half these simulators. Usually with xCloud, they're bringing games that could be compatible with a controller or specialized with touch. So, and I could play Yakuza 6 with touch controls.
Yeah,
it's not really.
Yeah, exactly. And again, if you guys haven't tried the touch specific controls for games, you have to check that out because again, they are specific on the amount of games that touch are enabled for, but they are specific because they really take time to design each touch control for each game. It's pretty cool if you haven't checked it out yet. But
It is really cool. I checked it out last week for the first time. I did a Hellblade and Dragon Quest with it.
yeah,
Played a little bit on both of them, and it just feels so good.
yeah, it's definitely playable. And that's cool. The cool thing about it, Microsoft has a dual screen phone now called the Duo. And just last month or 2 weeks ago, there's an update to where it turns it into like a Nintendo DS type
Oh
gaming.
wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
it's pretty cool now because that now becomes like a portable xCloud
Mhm.
platform. Anyway, but
Could
that's it.
could you
Yeah, go
split
ahead.
2 cloud services on one screen each?
Yeah, I have a video on that.
Hey,
Ah,
Ace did that. It's funny.
That'll be great because I'll be playing Dragon Quest and I'll be playing another
Yeah.
RPG, just slowly grinding on both.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Again, it's like having a dual screen. I'm really excited for the next iteration of that phone because I think they have something special. It just lacks the spec, and it has some issues. But I think I might get the next one over the Fold 3 if they ever do come out with that. But yeah, it's good stuff for sure. But yeah, okay. So this is the xCloud news. Anyone else want to add to this?
I feel like I'm taking over, so just
No,
tell
you're
me to
good.
shut
You're
up.
good.
Again, what we've been saying, there is an absolute great deal of variety in that list, and again, they're building it up where there's going to be something for everybody. I think if you went down and actually did the highlight reel rather than the marathon, and you've seen all these trailers, you'll go, I like the look of that game, I like the look of
Yeah.
that game. I think that game looks absolutely stupid. There is going to be games there for everybody, and I think the Game Pass is a perfect fit for the indie games. And I think we were talking about this just sort of off air as well, where indie games now, you used to think they were just 2D wee small games, and you forget about them. Some of these indie games now are just absolutely,
Yeah.
you wouldn't count them as indie games. And there is an absolute blur happening between indie and AAA. So, sorry, we're talking about the higher end sort of indie games, because technically, if you want to get technically, Destiny 2 is an indie game now because Bungie's independent, and
That's true.
it's
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, I mean, they showed Second Extinction. That did not
Yeah.
look like an indie game. Same
Yeah.
thing
Yep.
with
Right.
with like Song of Iron. While it was a platformer, like a side scroller, it looked beautiful.
Yeah.
What was
Did
what,
Exo make as well?
what
One of
was
the
the?
first games?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Nick.
Carry on, Nick.
What was the game? There was a person wearing a bird mask, and it was kind of like a top down platform game, and he was being chased by a group of people, and he kept hopping on one platform that kind of locked into another platform that locked into another
I
platform,
remember that.
and
Demon Turf.
I think that might be it. And then
I
there was
remember
a game that had like a couple, and they were in their apartment, and then you see a burglar tying them up, and then you
That was
see
12 minutes.
12 minutes. That's right.
Dang, Jose, you really,
Wow.
Ben, you really paid attention, bro.
I
I made a list of all the ones I wanted to play.
I couldn't keep up, but I
Yeah.
was looking, and I can't wait, man, and I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm very happy about Xbox and these games. I'm like, holy crap! Like, wow.
And then there was that Exomecha game. I could totally see Holtz playing that.
Yeah, it's funny that because when we were doing the stream, we're like, "That's a Ben's game. That's a Holt's game. That's a,
Yep,
that's a
yep,
Monkey."
yep.
We're all putting labels, we're fraction. Then we go, it's a game for everyone.
They even got a lawnmower simulator game.
It looked good. I wouldn't play it, but it looked good.
You know what? I might be interested. I might be interested because I'm from the country, so I can see that.
Now, so I see Ben now with the cooking game, actually cooking, playing the game, and now I can see Ray with his lawnmower and his lawnmower and his cats, like playing it.
Hey.
Intimidating life.
Yeah,
it's hilarious. All right, fellas. Anyone else want to add to the xCloud or Xbox Cloud gaming news?
All I was going to say then, I was going to say that to me, indies have always been innovative to me, but seeing these graphics now and the features come, it's blowing my mind. The future of indies, and I wish there was actually a developer that actually said that he wasn't a developer. He was actually head of the one. He went, I've been working for 7 years, but I don't know where it's going to go in 10 years. And I was like, please tell us, give us a site, because if this is the way the graphic fidelity plus the innovative plus the features plus the accessibility on cloud, it's going to be amazing space to be in.
Great. It's going to be great. Cool. Anyone else want to add to the xCloud news? I'm always going to call it xCloud. I'm sorry. Microsoft shouldn't have called it that to begin with. Seriously. I can't change my mind now. But yeah, anyway, guys, that's the show, man. So much to talk about. But we did it again. It was always good to have this panel, just debating, discussing about cloud gaming related news. It's always fun. I feel like each week we get to learn new things about people and their interests and likes. And so it's always good also to have a guest. And Ray, we really appreciate you being here.
Thank you. And just so you guys know, I get a lot of heat about being a Stadia fanboy, but I love the cloud. I actually have Shadow. And I mean, when I was in the hospital, I mean, I could just pull out my GameSir and just slap in and play a game. So I love it, and I like where it's going on all of them.
That's awesome. Let me ask, do you like the GameSir? Just being real.
It's easy for me. The Kishi is, I don't know. I got to get used to it, but for something, I mean, I guess, I'm a noob. It's easier for me, but it is, I don't know.
How is the button placed? The different.
See, my hands are weird. I got small hands. I'm a big guy with baby hands.
Like
and
the XB being where the YB being where the XA is. That's driving me insane. Where I can't use this.
Let me see. I don't know. It's easy. I have no problem. I don't have a problem. I like it. I enjoy it.
I'm glad.
But I got other friends that, like, oh my God, so, but I'm enjoying it. But I also have friends that don't like Amazon, and I love Amazon. It works for me. Yeah. So a lot of people don't like the Amazon controller. I love it. I happen to love the controller. Yeah. So different strokes for different folks.
True. Good. It's pretty cool to hear you testing all these other platforms out, and that's these group of guys. I appreciate them because again, they do. We're not just like saying this is better and we don't try. I think everyone here has tried multiple platforms before.
Well, this is where I go to get. This is where I get. I mean, like a lot of people give Duncan a lot of slack, but he keeps it. I will say one thing about you guys is that you keep it real. You speak your mind. You don't sugarcoat nothing, and that's why if I want to know, there's no fanboyism. You guys are smart. And this is where I go to get some of my cloud game knowledge. So thank you.
Yeah, man. Always good to have you on here, Ray, for sure. But just going to give the members a chance to plug the channel, tell people what they do. To get started, Holtz, where are you at with that channel, bro?
I know at this rate, I seen someone on the panel last time said, "Oh yeah, where's Holtz's?" And I was like, "Oh, more people are asking. I should definitely, especially the games that are coming out now." I think
somebody asked you on Discord earlier this week too. I saw that.
Yeah, I think I'm starting to get the games that people want to be interested. I would play it. So I thought at first it'll be just the games that I would play. And I'll just be sitting there by myself. But it's starting to look like that. There is like-minded gamers out there, so it's starting to be interesting me. But at the moment, you can find me at Holt86 on Twitter.
Check them out. But I'll tell you, with the Yeez game, Holt, not a lot of people are going to want to pay $60 for that, but people are going to be curious to see what that game's all about. So that would be a good game to showcase, man.
Exactly.
Sure. Cool. How about you, Ben? Where can people find you? And I'm hoping that you have created a name for yourself this time.
Hey, I told you I'm not creating a name. You guys have to do that.
Come on, chat. What's Ben's name moving forward?
Chef Ben.
I'm just creative. I'm not that great. But you can find me the username right there. That's where you can find me on Discord, Twitter, everything. I'm the social media person, I guess.
Cool. Again, Ben, it's good having you on here. Duncan, where can people find you and what do you do, sir?
I am not going to promote myself. I'm going to go and promote. There's a big event next weekend. It is Gamers Against Hunger. If you can go and check that out, it is Stadia Dad running that. Basically, there's just giving. They're going to be doing a 24-hour live event, and if for every £500 which is raised, it's a day off Twitter for me. So that is what I'm doing that for you. So we're at 2 days
so far.
So we're at 2 days so far. I wanted up to about 20 days. If people can do that, absolutely brilliant. So Gamers Against Hunger, and if you check out Stadia Dad.
That is awesome. Thank you for bringing that up. You guys definitely make sure to check that out for sure. Oops, sorry. Ben, sorry, have something for you here.
Yeah, I saw that. we're both mods on Mark's Discord.
I love it. That might stick. Ray, where can people find you, sir? And what do you do?
I'm Ray3473. I'm the gaming cyborg. I'm also one of the leaders. I don't know if you ever heard, but it's the Stadia Bash Community Network, where we get a lot of people that just love Stadia and stream Stadia content. I'm also with my good friend Rock, Ray and Rock. Now we're on Thursdays, and thank you. I love Rock. And then that's probably just catch me on Twitter, guys. I stream on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. And once again, thank you guys for having me on this panel, this awesome panel with you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for being here again. Good having you on for sure. And Monkey, my camera just died, but Monkey, where can people find you, sir? And what do you do?
Well, if anyone wants to listen to my ramblings, I am on Twitter at HellMonkey88. And I'm just going to blank out Duncan right now. Other than that, listen, just putting out and making some videos on this channel here. And if anyone wasn't aware, remember to head on over to Twitch, because we're going to try and push a lot of streams there in the coming weeks and months. So, yeah, that's where I'll be.
Awesome. It's good having this panel. So next week, we're still trying to cook up a guest. So we might have, we're trying to bring devs on here. And so we might have a dev in mind. Nice. Still waiting to clarify all of that up. But yeah, it should be good. And then if you guys are content creators and want to, be a part of this podcast, just DM us and let us know for sure. But again, Ray, love having you on here. Good conversation.
Thank you.
For sure. And definitely, I have all of the panels link in the description. So check them out. All right, fellas, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Till next time, peace out.